have you ever wondered or felt tension around how to price your offer, how to do it in a way that makes you feel super valuable, and just like a treat for people to buy from? That is what we're going to talk about today. And what might come up in this is, wanting answers. Like, what is the right price for a course? What is the right price in marketing? What should I do if I'm trying to teach people how to become a professional organizer, right? Like, how can I price my offer just perfectly? And instead of doing that, what I actually want to do is free you up to price it in a way that makes sense for you, in a way that helps you demonstrate who you are, what you do, and like honestly work with the right people. Because whatever industry you're in, there's different levels of clientele, and you may feel called to work with one or the other, and that's all amazing. So here's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to share with you 3 really simple principles that are not always easy to implement and accept, but we're going to tease it out today because I think it's going to set you so free and make your pricing journey painless. Like, honestly, you will have so much fun pricing. So the 3 things we're going to talk about it's the 3 P's of pricing, right? So the payoff is number 1. Number 2 is going to be the perception of your price. And the 3rd thing is going to be projecting. Okay? These are 3 principles that will set you so free after we talk about them. Okay. The payoff, the perception, and the projection of your offer and how you price this, okay? So what is payoff? The payoff is the result that they get. The biggest problem that I see with anyone selling anything is that they make it about what they are selling, not what it does for somebody else. And it's not because you don't want to help people. I know that you want to help. And I know that you making a contribution to the world is actually something that you feel very called to. You were made to do that. And somehow, well, I know why. I'll tell you why. The reason why that's hard to communicate and articulate is because of the way our brain is wired. So you want to say like all these things about helping them, but what comes out is I have a course. It has all this stuff in it. It's the best information on marketing that is out there, right? You want to say these magnificent things, and really all it is about you. And so telling somebody how great your thing is not the same thing as telling them how great it is for them. So let me give you some examples of payoff. And since I teach people how to make sales, I'm going to give you some examples about this. But there's a zillion examples of payoffs. Okay, so when you look at the results that you get for people, I want you to really challenge yourself. Maybe set a timer for like 5 whole minutes, and I want you to list out every single result you could get somebody. A lot of the results we get people, because we are sales coaches, is financial. It shows up in their business, in their sales, and there's so many. But I want to share with you a couple of different things, because when you are pricing, you want the payoff and the price to make sense. You want to be able to prove that your payoff is at least 10 times more than what they paid. And that payoff time range, think of it like within a year. In about a year. If they can get this payoff within a year and you can prove it, then you're in a really, really, really good spot. Okay. And this can really illuminate if you're priced too low or priced too high. Okay. And there's totally a sliding scale. There's not black and white, but I want to give you a couple examples that we had come across that were really illuminating. Okay. So we had one student come through, and we She came through, learned how to sell, became a sales girl, and had a $60,000 month. Okay. The program that she bought through us was $4,000. And so not only did that happen within a year, but it happened in a month for her. And that revealed like, oh wow, like that value is really off. Our $4,000 did not demonstrate the magnitude of the result that could happen. Another person was having, $70,000 launches within, I think it was 6 weeks. She hit her first $100,000 launch that she had been working on all this time and energy, wondering how can I get this payoff? How can I have a 6-figure launch? Within 6 weeks, she finally hit $100,000. So that's $30,000. That was like $30,000 extra dollars that she hadn't had by learning this skill. Okay, so again, within 6 weeks, $30,000 difference, $4,000 program. Again, it's not really adding up. One more person had a $40,000 week within the same program. Again, it just kept coming up over and over and over. Wow, these people who are implementing, they are getting magnificent results and the price is not showing it. In fact, this was kind of crazy. We had an experience in a person with a company who had a $6 million business, and she found out about our program. She liked us fine. And she said, I would just never buy your training because I don't think it could help me. I don't buy stuff at that price. I just assume it cannot help me. And that was a really sobering reality. So when you can prove that you have that payoff, and I want you to notice, I'm not saying guarantee. I'm not saying that you can guarantee a payoff. I'm saying that you can prove a payoff. Because so many people get wound up and like, well, is it 100% that this can happen? And nothing is 100%. Nothing is. There are so many factors at play when someone takes your program or your offer, or they take you up on your service, right? They take your course. It's okay. And I find that women tend to be a lot more sensitive and hold a heck of a lot of responsibility for other people's success. And I am just telling you right now, all you can do is set them up and deliver on what you sold and be able to prove that there's a payoff. And if you are new at this, I want you to work like with as many clients as possible and get this evidence fast. Serve them so well that you see these results. You help them get the results. You can't just enter the gate pricing it at this if you have no proof, right? So start to gather some proof and raise your price over time. That's exactly what we did. What started at hundreds of dollars is now thousands of dollars, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 offers because there's proof. Okay, so let the time catch up because it will when you're diligent in serving people. Okay, so that's one thing, payoff. The goal is 10x proof. And you might be thinking, well, I don't have a financial payoff. Maybe you sell skincare, or maybe you, there's a million things. Maybe you help people with their mindset. But what's exciting, something like skincare, I was just talking to someone who's a nurse practitioner and she does Botox, and the skincare that she sells actually helps people like skip a round of Botox. So she's saving them money by implementing and selling this skincare that really just illuminates and enhances the entire process for them. Okay. So I want you to get creative and don't let your brain be lazy. Don't let your brain be lazy and say, well, I don't have a financial payoff. Everything's connected to money. Even like if you help life coach people on their mind and their patterns, everything is rooted in thoughts and patterns. Everything, even what I'm talking about right now. So if you were to help somebody, they're struggling in their marriage maybe, or communicating with their kids are about to go to college and everything's on the rocks. What if her thoughts became hopeful? She became a better communicator. She became a healthier version of herself. What could that do for the family? Like emotionally, yes. And like if you really want to tie it financially, you can. Right? Because a cost associated with not taking action could be a divorce. It could be their kid not being courageous enough to take on a scholarship. Or it could be their kid making bad choices because there's no family community, and all of a sudden they are they lost their scholarship. Like, what does that cost? So this is why you dig into people's stories and you really uncover the value for them. Okay. And so this is actually our next topic. So our next point after payoff, because there is a payoff, and I want you to get diligent in looking for it because it's so much bigger than I think you even imagine. Do some research, have conversations, and find out. The next thing is perception. So perception is really powerful, and I want to share with you some words that are synonyms for perceive. To perceive something is to discern it, to discern, to recognize, to hit on. Ooh, you hit on that. Nailed it. Someone's aware of it. Okay. So to perceive it is to even be aware. And kind of going back to, it's much easier to talk about what we do than what it does for somebody. Communicators who are business owners, entrepreneurs, salespeople, you want to help, but it's really not coming across in a way that someone can even be aware and make a decision and recognize the value of what you have. And when they can't recognize the value that you have, it's going to always be too expensive. Do I need to say that again? When they don't recognize the value that you have, it will always feel too expensive. It will always feel like too much time. No wonder time and money are the biggest objections people have. Because the perception and perceived value in your situation is unrecognizable in a bad way. They can't discern it. They cannot see. The glass is foggy. It's like being in the shower and there's all this mist and they're like, I can't even see what you're talking about. I don't even see what you're talking about. But people won't tell it to you like that. They're going to tell it to you like, oh, that's just a little expensive. I'll think about it. Think about what? Think about what? The payoff is this, which it probably is. The perceived value should be clear. And there's a lot of ways that we as human beings, we fog the glass with our own words, with our confusing messaging. And I want to share with you like one example that happened recently, and it happens a lot. I was just coaching in our Sell Your Offer Challenge recently, and this happened to 3 different people who were brave enough to share it with me. So I know it's happening for a lot of people. And this is the perception of your price differences when you have like a product suite or packages. So here's the example. There is a wonderful entrepreneur. She works in marketing. And not only does she work in marketing, but her history is with Fortune 500 companies, which probably tells you, oh, this girl is smart. She has managed 6-figure budgets daily for ads on all these platforms: Google, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I mean, you would think this woman would be in Forbes magazine. She knows so much about running ads on big budgets and getting people really huge wins, right? So I just kind of painted that picture for you. And here's what happened. She shared that she has a course and a VIP version of that course. And she's not alone. A lot of people have, these different tiers of ways that people can work. This has been highly advised in the, the course world. So this is a fine strategy. And this is why strategies alone don't work. Because you cannot separate doing a product suite from the principles of how do people think. So here we go. The course, for example, that teaches marketing, it teaches all these amazing marketing strategies and techniques and principles, and it's $16.97. Fine, right? Seems like a fine price. In her product suite, there's 8 weeks of coaching from her that comes with this, voice memo support, a 1-hour audit of their marketing and create a plan for them. That is $24.97. Now, I don't know what comes to your mind right now, but when I say the price is $16.97 and $24.97 right next to each other, 2 prices that close, what usually comes up in people's head is, wait, what am I going to get different out of that? Because if they're so close, I could probably just get away with the bottom one. Because if that top one's not that great, it's not that great. If it was, it might be higher. And maybe more people buy the top one because of it. I don't know. Another situation where the course was $347 in the VIP coaching version of it. Okay, same thing, but with coaching, with live touch support, $597, a $200 difference. Do you see how, if I put those two prices next to each other on like a sales page, you would wonder, like, what is the difference? Like, what is the value difference actually? What is it actually? But when you can price things so distinguished, I want you to be bold enough to come back up here to the payoff and say, no, when people get my coaching, it shrinks time for them. They get results faster. They get to hear about their business from my mouth, and I'm the expert and I know. You just say this to yourself. You just kind of sell yourself on you. Say, that's worth $5,000. Yeah, they can do the course for $19.97 or $16.97, and they can get my coaching for $10,000, $20,000. I really, honestly, I do not care what your price is. I do not. And this is why I told you there's not one right price, because all that matters is your payoff. I don't care what other marketing people price it at. I really don't. I don't care what other professional organizers are priced at. What is your payoff? And this is another reason why I really encourage you to get out of the bubble of your industry. The people in our group coaching program, people from all different industries, and I can almost guarantee you we will never stop, because it is too powerful to be in a room with people that experience different levels of customer experiences, of payoffs, and seeing how not only are they all very similar, but you get to start like seeing how the market reacts to what you say. So you're basically selling in the market when you're with people in different industries. I just want you to notice the perception of something like $16.97 and $24.97. Just look at it. Look at it again. I'm on YouTube. If you want to watch this and you're on audio podcast platform right now, look at how close those are. They don't allow you to recognize the difference. They're so close. They're so close. And if someone can't see clearly what's happening, they can't distinguish it, of course they're going to be confused. And a confused buyer makes no decision. So people think, well, if they're close enough, they'll probably at least pick one of them. Maybe. Or maybe if you just changed them more drastically, there would be more clarity and more buyers. More clarity and more buyers. And please, price it in a way that demonstrates the 10x proof. Because this person down here who has the marketing course 100% can. 100% can. And she needs to give herself some credit. And so do you. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about with making pricing painless, and one of the principles of this is to deal with the inner work of projecting onto people. Projecting. Some words that go along with this is attributing to someone, assigning onto someone, pinning on them, laying on them your beliefs, your thoughts, your unconscious ways of dealing with money. There will be a very hard road for you if you don't have a healthy relationship with money. And there are so many things to unpack here, but I want to give you a visual that's a little bit unconventional that will help you just kind of sit with it. Because I can't fix this for you right now, but what I can do is help bring some of these thoughts to consciousness, to awareness, to the front of your brain. And you're thinking, oh, that was interesting. I didn't know I felt that way. I didn't know I thought that way about money. I thought I was good. I thought that I could sell. I thought that people should buy from me. But let's just talk about it. Let's imagine that you have a $50,000 offer that you want to sell. Okay? Notice how that makes you feel, first of all. Second of all, I want you to imagine that $50,000 walks through your front door. Like it walks into your life. How does that make you feel? What comes up for you? Does it start to feel like, oh, what did I do to deserve that? Oh, what did I have to say? What did I have to say? Oh my gosh, I can't possibly have this because this means that like I surely I'm going to do something wrong with this much money. The amount of people who just assume that they're going to become bad people with more money is a really big red flag for how you currently think about yourself now. How you currently think about yourself now. One of the truest things about money is that it makes you more of who you are. Money makes you more of who you are. Just like fame makes you more of who you are. And that is why the inner work is so important. I heard at a conference one time, someone said, don't let the light within you don't ever let the light on you be greater than the light in you. Never let the light on you be greater than the light in you. And all these things, if you go after, quote, success, right? Whatever that looks like for you, it has to, who you are has got to be growing exponentially greater and faster than whatever the world perceives, whatever outside circumstances change, like money or popularity or whatever. Okay. And so when you have that healthy relationship, $50,000 walks into the room, and instead of being like, oh God, what did I have to do to earn that? What lie did I have to tell? What if it was something like, man, who did I help? How much money did I make them? Did I make them $500,000? I made someone $500,000? You're kidding me. Tell me that story. Hey, money, tell me the story of who you like came from. Tell me about that. I'm so curious. Right? Like there's so many different thoughts available to you about money, and it's exciting. And people want to spend money on things that give them the payoff. But so many people are obsessed with what they do, not what it does for somebody. Okay? So this projection is just the natural, unconscious behaviors coming to light. So again, if you're getting a lot of money objections, no wonder. Because you're not even thinking correctly about charging people in the first place. And here's what else I'll say. If you tend to say the phrase, it's out of a lot of people's budgets. Well, I know, Catherine, I know that it's too expensive for them because they tell me it's out of their budget. Okay. Well, we were just talking about perception. Of course they're going to tell you it's too expensive if they're confused. Of course they're going to tell you it's too expensive if they don't see the value if the glass is foggy. Right? But like, really, think about it. Whose budget? Who are you talking to? Were they an amazing fit? Like, did they see the payoff and it was too expensive? That's unlikely. Were they an amazing fit and they saw how clearly it could help them? Unlikely. So really think like, whose budget? Who can't afford it? Actually. Not just what they say, but in the reality of what we've talked about so far. And so I'm excited for you to potentially reach back out to conversations and actually, or just even replay them in your head. Did I really help it be clear? Did they really see the payoff? And that could be a really good way to follow up with them. But what if one of the people's budgets that it's out of is yours? What if you are pricing your thing so that it's in your budget? Yowza. So here's what I want to ask you. How good of a buyer are you? You want good buyers, don't you? You want buyers who don't make it a big deal. They are certain of the payoff. They see so clearly the value. They see that your price makes sense. They see everything. Not just with their words, but with their tone, their belief. Are you that kind of a buyer? Or are you super hesitant, skeptical, wondering if you're going to get a payoff? Every time you buy from someone, are you like, well, what are they going to do for me? How are they going to show up for me? Or do you say, hey, look, you could show up like junk and I'm still going to get a payoff, period. Why? Because it's who I am. It's who I am. So I'm going to take my best guess that this is the investment I need to make. And I can't wait to see the payoff. Period. What if you started thinking like that? And what if you started investing at the level that you want people to invest with you? Because if you're not willing to spend $5,000 on yourself, why would anyone spend $50, $500 with you? You need to, I've always heard this, like a leader needs to be able to work 10 times harder than anyone on their team. Work 10 times harder. Do not expect anyone to work equal as you. Work 10 times harder. And I think it's the same with spending. Macy and I, as you know, if you've heard any of our content, maybe you haven't, but we just spent $350,000 to be in Myron Golden's VIP Plus program. And we, not only have we already earned it back, but we have already reinvested with him. And that story will come later. But why? Because of the certainty and honestly, the identity that it gives you when you invest in yourself and oh my gosh, and then you get a payoff. Please, you will be unshakable in your belief that other people should buy from you. And you will be done with this life of projecting onto people that they cannot afford it. It's not worth it. And this payoff that you have for somebody, the clarity that you can offer them, and the freedom you can offer them in taking that next step, it comes from you. Your communication, your certainty, your confidence. And that's why being a sales girl is the best job of all, because you get to do all three of those things. And it's amazing. It's the best life, no matter what you sell, no matter who you sell to. I hope this was amazing for you. If you want to share this with someone, I really invite you to. And these videos come out twice a week. So whether you're on audio or you're on YouTube, like subscribe to either place or both so that you get alerts and you can be so fired up to do the work you're made to do. I'm excited for you to go change the world, and I will see you on the next video.